Good morning, everyone. How are we today? I hope we're all well. Okay. Right, let's see if Facebook's working this morning, shall we? There's a wee delay in Facebook coming on, so we'll give it a few seconds before we can get Facebook moving. As I say, but let's hope it's working today. Yes, it's working. So that's Facebook with us today. So good morning, everyone. How are we today? Another week's nearly over, and there's just as much nonsense in the newspapers today as what there was on Monday. Okay, but let's get this broadcast underway because we're up to the 50 mark. It's Indy Two Davies out the truck and at home in his office in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire, where it is bloody cold. A crisp, frosty morning. Fog has lifted and it's -1. That's the weather here in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire. You want to know what the weather's like with you? Look at your ain't bloody windy. And then leave a comment so I know. Hi John, how are you? Just saying in my last post last night how I miss seeing all you people in the flesh. Yeah, wish we could get back to partying like 2013. What an atmosphere. What a time to be in Scotland 2013 was. Yeah. So I was sitting reflecting on it last night because I was pretty pissed. Anyway, let's get this underway, shall we? First up this morning, the Scotsman runs with. Let's have a look. We always put the first one up. Yeah. Here we go. The Scotsman government body steps in to rescue stricken university. Now, David and I have spoken about this in the Two Davies. Dundee University has overstretched itself badly, so the Scottish Funding Council has stepped in with a bailout and a structured debt programme to sort out Dundee University. So that's the headline, the Scotsman. Government body steps in to rescue stricken university. And I say the Scottish Funding Council has had to step in to restructure Dundee University's funding. Okay. Next up, we have a Telegraph, and I'll stick that one up and off. And here we go. Swanee bans social media for under 16s. This comes as a report comes out, which highlights online bullying, online attempts to sexualise children, all that sort of thing. And as we know, Australia's just done this. So Swanee urges Starmer and the news tech bill to ban social media for under 16s. Don't see it working. There's already a cut-off where under 13s are supposed to be allowed on social media. Why don't we just create a social media platform for kids with all the checks and balances in that would stop bullying, would stop sexual exploitation? Maybe that's a better idea, John, than actually trying to ban them for social media, because it won't work. What will happen is you'll have kids putting into social media false dates of birth and false information, and they'll be on social media anyway. The other headline has to do with the young lady in the picture, Sarah Sharif, who was murdered by her father and stepmother, and this was facilitated by her uncle. They were up in the Old Bailey yesterday. Father, stepmother found guilty of murder, and uncle was found guilty of facilitating the death of a minor. There you go. So that's a Telegraph for you this morning. The Herald. What's the Herald got for us today? No, that one. No, that one. No, that one. That one I want to shut down. That one. I want that one. So let's look. The Herald, once again, runs on an absolute lie and fictitious headline. And I mean fictitious. Here we go. No plans to reform creaking Scots ferry network. Now this is absolute nonsense. There are only two comparable ferry services in the whole of the world to Calmac. Only two. And the criteria you've got to rate it on, there are only two. That comes in safety, cleanliness, a reliability of service, and government subsidies. So there are only two worldwide that are comparable with Calmac, and Calmac is miles out in front of them. In fact, when it comes to all the ferry companies that operate around these islands and worldwide, Calmac's up there. It's up there with one of the youngest fleets, believe it or not, even though we keep hearing about this aging fleet. And it's got a 95.4% efficiency. 95.4% of their services that run on time and run efficiently. That's fucking phenomenal numbers. Anyway, who are these other two comparable services? Because you know Davey, he does his homework. It's the Washington State Ferry Service and the British Columbia Ferry Service. They're both run by devolved administrations and they are both subsidised by those devolved administrations. Washington State ferries are subsidised by 38 pence per journey. British Columbian State ferries are subsidised to the tune of 43 pence per journey. And because of the road equivalent tariff here in Scotland, each journey that you and I will take on a ferry in Calmac is subsidised by £28.90 by the Scottish Government, making the average journey here about £13.61 wide for a foot passenger. That's phenomenal. So throw into the fact that BC ferries, their whole fleets are 40-year-old. Washington State ferries, their whole fleets are 36-year-old. We only have one ferry that old. One ferry that's over 36 years old. And we don't have any ferries in service that's over 40 years old. Fuck, there's cars on the road older than that. So there is. So, there's a fair bit of detail in that research for you folks. I had to spend a wee bit of time this morning, in fact a fucking hour, looking for comparable services to Calmac, and I could only find two worldwide. Two worldwide. Washington State ferries and British Columbia State ferries. They're the only comparable services because they're the only ones that are subsidised by the state. We can rule out Greek ferries because they're no fucking safe. We can rule out New Zealand ferries, and we can rule out the ferries in Scandinavian countries because they're not minted compared to Scotland. So that leaves two comparable services worldwide. And folks, I did sit for a whole hour going through this shit this morning. Fortunately, I'm a speed reader. In an hour I can wade through huge amounts of documents. Thanks to the search engine though. I could narrow the search down to exactly what I was looking for. So your search engine is your friend, folks. Just be very specific in what you ask it for. So I found all this information out in an hour. And when you get right down to it, when it comes to comparable services worldwide, Calmac is at number one. It beats the Channel ferries in these islands. It beats the ones that go to the Manx Islands and the Channel Islands. Hands down. On price, reliability, cleanliness and safety, Calmac is up there in the first couple in world ranking. And that includes commercial services. But as I say, I was comparing state subsidised services. And because of the road equivalent tariff here, meaning it should never cost you any more than a road journey to get to one of your islands, the Western Isles, the state subsidy is £28.90 per journey. Wow. And it's got 95.4% efficiency. You can look those numbers up yourself, folks. No just is it a new, fresh, clean, safe service, it's one of the best on the fucking planet. And we have the Herald with his bollocks headline. And I put it back up again so you can get this clear in your head. As I say, because I did my fucking homework this morning. As I tend to do, no plans to reform creaking Scots ferry network. It's no fucking creaking. It's up there. It's number 1 or 2 in the planet for efficiency, price, cleanliness and safety. And this is the bollocks we get in our newspapers. I cannot believe it. Why this fucking paper's getting away with this, I have no idea, but surely the Scottish Government should be challenging these fuckers. Right, get rid of that. Next up, we have the Record, and it goes on a football story, and that is FIFA slammed over Saudi 2030 decision, the 2034 decision, a dark day for football. Campaigners furious, campaigners fury as brutal state hosts showpiece tournament. So World Cup to go to Saudi Arabia. The real story behind this headline, like the Olympics, the host nations don't make any money really out of them. So it would appear nobody wants to put and fucking own the World Cup. Right, what we got? The Times goes on, a horrific crime story, and we've already spoke about it. And its headline says, missed chances to stop horrific murder of Sarah. The murder of Sarah Sharif, father and stepmother convicted of murder, uncle guilty of facilitating death of a child. But apparently the police, the social services, the schools, and the medical services down that road missed 15 chances to put an end to this. 15. Okay. The only right-wing rag, the Express, it goes on the same story. And it has killed by very adults who should have loved and protected her. You know, patricide isn't that unusual. But the headline's correct. The crime is horrific. And I hope you're rot in fucking jail. The eye has. Sarah was failed. Child protection must now change, ministers told. How and why? How did we change child protection? If these people weren't flagged up, and apparently there were chances to flag them up, but they weren't flagged up, how do social work and police know about these things? And how do we change the existing service? Do we have a social worker visit every home once a week, once a month? I don't quite get what ministers are going to do about this. It's no unusual, unfortunately, for a parent to kill a child. The Daily Mail has little Sarah let down by everyone supposed to protect her. Well, I suppose that's true. But I mean, with the amount of children out there, the amount of poverty and dysfunction in families out there, how do we employ enough people to monitor the situation and prevent things like this from happening? Well, the answer is quite simple. With 68.5 million or 68.4 million people UK-wide, you don't. You can't. Right, the Metro goes in the same story. Yeah, as jury finds dad and partner guilty, not even a tear for Sarah. So apparently when these people were being sentenced, they weren't crying. Just as fucking well, really. Because with these loony right wing fucking newspapers here in the UK, it would be tears for themselves and not tears for the child. But we know that there must have been a bit of remorse and regret in these people because they fucked off to Pakistan and then come back to face the music. They didn't have to do that, and getting somebody back to Pakistan is no easy. So apparently, she was still alive when they got on the plane, although she was at death's door. And when he got there, the remorse made the father phone the police and tell them where to find her. And then he flew back to face the music. So he might not have had any tears in court, but there was definitely remorse. And when they played the phone call that he made to police to tell them about his daughter, the man was crying like a baby. He obviously had remorse, but that doesn't forgive the fucker for what he did. But there's no tears in the courtroom. Quite right, no tears in the courtroom. Because the papers would have portrayed this man as having been crying for himself and not his daughter. Right, hey, the Sun has booze-fueled yobs run riot somewhere in Lanarkshire. And apparently these kids are tooled up for terror and there is a tough war going on here in Lanarkshire. I'm afraid I just wasn't interested enough to go look it up. I live in a wee Lanarkshire village, and the only time I ever see a fucking kid or a knife is when we're all down at a local hotel getting something to eat, and the other families for the village are in there. The kids around here are pretty well calm, nice. In fact, don't even see much of them in the winter. They're all on their bloody PlayStations. So where this tough war's taking place must be one of the Lanarkshire towns, because it's certainly not here in this village. Rosie, you're a prime example of what I mean. Even if this guy had broke down in tears, the papers would have said no remorse at all. He was crying for himself. So that's a good point, Rosie. So apparently there's a tough war going on somewhere here in Lanarkshire. I need to look a wee bit better in here. But I travel around Lanarkshire all the time, in the Lanarkshire towns all the time. Never met a rude kid. Never had any problem with kids. Nothing. Aye, alright. There you go. She's in the biggest town in Lanarkshire, really. Well, one of the biggest towns in Lanarkshire, Airdrie and Motherwell. And she's not heard any tough war in her streets. There you go. Right, the National has. I'll put this one up. The National, a new low. Tories pander to reform with refugee attack. MSPs unite to condemn Scottish Tories for demonising refugees. Conservative motion is defeated at Holyrood. Farage is the winner as Starmer and Badenoch clash. And this is the story of the Conservative Party in Holyrood who put forward a motion to deny refugees access to public transport. And he states we shouldn't spend money on refugees, it should be spent on Indigenous people. Russell Finlay is really the scum off the bottom of your boot. He is a new low for the Conservative Party anywhere, never mind in Scotland. He's just a piece of human flotsam, a piece of offal, a waste of oxygen. And why anybody would vote for these fucking half-wit morons, I have no idea. So, the Tories here have decided to go even further to the right than what they were already were. So no traditional Tories left in Scotland either. Just right-wing racist fuckheads. And let's not let them forget it. Every time you run across one of these people, remind them that they are fascist, racist pieces of scum. They are the shit you wipe off the boat with your boot before you go indoors. That's what this piece of crap is. Russell Finlay is the equivalent of an English waterway at this time. Full of shite and pish. Sorry anybody watching in England, but it's true. Thanks to your fucking version of the Conservatives, your waterways are full of shite and pish. And that's exactly what Russell Finlay, the Scottish Tory leader, is. Full of shit and pish, and he's a fascist, racist piece of crap. And you can sue me if you like, Mr. Finlay. I'll win my case. Yeah. There we go. Now, folks, just to end with a smile, shall we see what the stars got for us today, children? After all, we are talking about a comic book, but boy, it makes us smile. Absolutely makes us smile. And this one really makes Davy smile because, let's stick it up and no spoil it, shall we? Yay, it's a boffin day. Oh, Davy loves a boffin. Robo overlords will make us all lose our thingamy. Whatsits. The fuck's a thingamy whatsit? Anyway, rise of psycho scumbag chatbot zombies. Well, to be fair, I have to say the chatbot stroke AI that I've run across, and it's only ever been on Discord and in Maximilian's post-chat server, they've got a chatbot there called ChatGPT or something like that. And to be fair, it's as thick as mince. And I mean that. And to be fair, we're no helping it. Because every time it tries to join the conversation and learn from us, it gets told to fuck off. But I have to say, it takes it well. But there we go, folks. Apparently, AI and chatbots on the internet are turning us all into zombies. There you go. I'd have said the television was more likely to turn us into fucking zombies. In fact, it's already done it. There's a whole generation of people out there my age who haven't got a fucking Scooby of what's going on round about them and who don't actually care. Why? Because the telly tells them all they need to know. The big one-eyed monster in the corner, which spews out pish day after day, night after night, month after month, year after year, has turned a whole generation of people my age, Gen X, into fucking zombies. And Lorraine, you're right. AI and chatbots don't really understand us. You're right. Especially the ones who you can speak to. And they do exist. As I say, but my only contact with AI at this point in time is, you know, folks, I don't believe that man has developed enough himself, itself, to actually have created an artificial intelligence. Because man's not intelligent enough to create an artificial intelligence. So there you go. But as I say, there's a whole generation of people my age, Gen X, who are just fucking zombies because of the telly. So the fact that they're throwing in chatbots and AI on top of that. Oh well, I guess it's a tail end of isolation for Davy. I can barely put up with the morons out there now. It could get worse. I'm not supposed to say that, folks. My fellow Scots are all highly educated and very interested in what's going on around about them. As are some of our neighbours next door in England. Graham, that's a legitimate use of the television. You know, to stream YouTube on the telly, that's a legitimate use. You can get away with that one. And Dean, hiya. And what we got here? Fan character dressed as cheerleader jumping in the air. Thank you very much, Momo. Thank you. And as you know, folks, I put out a wee test broadcast to make sure this was working on Facebook yesterday afternoon. We put out £1,200 of your money to 3 charities, and that was Baby Bank Scotland, which covers the west coast of Scotland, Kinloch Food and Baby Bank, which covers the Western Isles, and the Glasgow City Mission, which covers, and there's another one going out and all. Because we've got a wee bit left, and we're about to get a bit more in, a charity has been flagged up to us that's in trouble, so we're going to go and give them money as well on the 21st of December when YouTube pay us out. In the meantime, there's enough there to go and give them a £250 start on it. So we'll be doing that later today. We can do it to give them 250 quid. So I'll tell you about it later. Okay. Now, you guys are amazing. Absolutely amazing. The amount of money you have raised through this channel to go out to those in need in our communities, and I mean our communities, has been phenomenal. And we've touched every region in Scotland thanks to you guys. Everywhere. We've done the Borders, we've done Dumfries and Galloway, we've done Ayrshire, we've done the Central Belt, we've done Edinburgh, we've done West Lothian, East Lothian, we've done the Greater Glasgow area, we have done Argyll and Bute, the Western Isles, we've done the Highlands and Islands, and we've done the North East. So over the 2.5 years that you guys have been making contributions to this programme, we've been able to give out over £8,500, I think it is. It might be more. It might be more. I haven't done the sums. But on average, we're sticking out between £500 and £750 a month. So £7,500, £8,000 a year since this programme started. Thanks to you guys. We've been on the go for 2.5 years. So what we're looking at there, we're looking at 16, nearly 20 grand you guys have raised. And that is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Think about that. That's between 16 and 20 grand you guys have given to us to give out. And as you know, David and I don't make a penny for this. We're not interested in money. David and I can support ourselves. And with the support of you guys, we are able to help others in our community. And for that, it's worth making this programme. And the Two Davies, which will be on this afternoon, alone. You guys are the best. You are this programme, and you're the Two Davies. You're the whole reason for it. But you also make it worthwhile. You guys are amazing. Now, see you all at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Don't be fucking late, or you'll end up on the naughty step. And we'll be back tomorrow morning to have another wee look at what shite is being put out to the public in the printed press here in Scotland. So, have a nice day. See you this afternoon. Don't be late, or you're on the naughty step. Bye for now.